Here's your wrestling news for August 10th, 2021, and your headlines for today include: update on Becky Lynch's return, when will the man appear next? You can't kill it. Bray Wyatt teases brand new character. What did WWE have planned for Wyatt before release? WWE air Wyatt promo during Raw. Raw tag team splits up, match planned for Summerslam. What is WWE getting wrong with Damien Priest? Malakai Black reveals how long he'll wrestle for AEW. Stone Cold's next Broken Skull Sessions guest confirmed. I'm disappointed with how this is going. USA Network angry at WWE, and more. We are kicking off today with Becky Lynch, who's been missing from WWE TV for the past year after vacating the Raw Women's title to Asuka in May 2020. Since giving birth in December, there's been reports of when the man will be back, and in the latest report, it said that Lynch is expected full-time around October. Now though, it seems Lynch may be back slightly earlier than that, as PW Insider reports that Lynch is expected to be backstage at SummerSlam, making an appearance a very real possibility. Specifically, the report says that Lynch will be in attendance for next Saturday's pay-per-view, meaning that while she won't be wrestling, she could still appear on camera in some fashion. Lynch was rumored to appear at WrestleMania 37 and teased appearing at Money in the Bank, which she was present at, but both shows ended without the former women's champion appearing. Perhaps SummerSlam 2021 will be the show Lynch returns at, as WWE plans on having the show be bigger than WrestleMania, and what better way to accomplish that than with one of the most popular female superstars of all time? One person we won't be seeing at SummerSlam no matter what is Bray Wyatt, who remains a talking point amongst fans despite his release last month. Wyatt's release was down to the usual budget cuts, though it was said that Wyatt was creatively frustrated in WWE, but he's not leaving the wrestling world behind. The former Universal Champion made that very clear with a tweet just before Raw started last night, where he teased the next character in his career with the ominous caption, "You can't kill it." As of right now, Wyatt is under a 90-day non-compete clause with WWE, which expires just before Halloween, and time will tell what demonic character Wyatt has in store and which promotion he'll use it for. Wyatt's last few months in WWE were strange to say the least, as after being burned alive at TLC 2020, the Eater of Worlds had months off TV before returning in time for WrestleMania, only to lose there too. Appearing on the Raw after WrestleMania, Wyatt promised to be back, but that never happened as he was released after another lengthy hiatus from TV. During his last hiatus, it had been rumored and reported that Wyatt's absence was due to mental health issues, but we know now that isn't the case. Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful now reports that Wyatt had family engagements in May and June which kept him away, and said that the reports of mental health issues were completely false. Sapp also noted that Bray is 100% cleared and could wrestle today if he were able to, but he obviously can't because of his non-compete clause. Wyatt will return to the ring eventually, and we're sure he'll get a thunderous ovation from the crowd, and we're pleased to hear that his hiatus was free from any mental health issues. WWE's decision to release the former Fiend was strange to say the least, as Wyatt had been one of the most universally popular superstars of the past 2 years. Despite his hiatus after WrestleMania, fans were eager to see more of him, and we now know what he would have done had he not been released. According to Fightful, Wyatt was a lot closer to returning to TV than fans first thought, as they reported, Fightful learned that he was working on adding creative elements to his character, which was slated to return on tonight's Raw in Orlando. There's no word on what this new character would have been, but returning on last night's Raw would have been a huge treat for the fans in Orlando. A return last night also would have presumably marked the start of a feud in time for SummerSlam, which makes it all the more disappointing that Wyatt was released so closely to when he was supposed to come back. One person fans did see on last night's Raw was Alexa Bliss, but the crowd wasn't happy to see the former women's champion. Since Bray's departure, many have accused Bliss of stealing his gimmick, even though her current character was decided on by WWE, and the fans let themselves be heard during last night's match against Doudrop. With Lily and Eva Marie at ringside, fans chanted "We want Wyatt" throughout the short match, a chant that's been heard on Raw ever since Bray's release. Immediately after this release, Bliss said she was at a loss for words, only to receive some backlash from fans, and this caused Bliss to make her Twitter profile private for a while. Fans in the Amway Center seemed to be happy Bliss got the win over Doudrop, and they popped during her entrance, but that didn't stop a vocal portion of the fan base from letting Vince McMahon know who they'd rather be watching. Fans at last night's show in Orlando made it clear they'd rather be watching The Fiend, and for a brief moment, that wish came true during Raw. That's according to John Alba, who was in attendance for the show, and said that WWE played a promo for the fans at Raw, which showed Mick Foley and Stone Cold Steve Austin talking about how great the Fiend character was. Foley has first-hand experience with Wyatt's darker alter ego, who attacked the hardcore legend on the July 22, 2019 Raw, which was the special Raw reunion episode. Given that Wyatt was supposed to return on tonight's Raw, it's possible that this video was meant to psych up the crowd, and that WWE forgot to remove it from production following Wyatt's departure. We can only imagine the negative reaction this clip received, as it must have felt like WWE was deliberately antagonizing the crowd in the Amway Center, as this brief clip will probably be the closest they'll ever get to seeing The Fiend back on WWE programming. More from Raw next, as this week's show saw the return of Randy Orton, and Riddle couldn't have been happier. In the 6 weeks Orton has been away, Riddle has done everything in his power to pay tribute to the Viper, but things didn't go as the original Bro had wanted last night. Instead of getting back together, Orton said that RK Bro was finished in a heartbreaking story for Riddle that played out throughout the night. When the main event was set between Orton and AJ Styles, the Legend Killer told Riddle he wanted to go it alone, as Orton seemed to be playing a heel as a face, similar to Sheamus in late 2016 when he formed The Bar with Cesaro. As expected, Omos caused a distraction in the main event, and despite Orton's warning, Riddle came out of nowhere to try and take down the Giant with a sleeper hold. At the same time, Styles went for a phenomenal forearm that transitioned into a perfect RKO, and post-match, Orton embraced his tag team partner before Riddle received an RKO himself. It was a very interesting way for Orton to return, as the commentary team insisted that RK Bro is back despite Orton attacking Riddle, and it's expected that these two teams will meet for the Raw Tag Team titles at SummerSlam. Raw also saw Damien Priest in action, as the former North American champion is once again picking up momentum after disappearing following his feud with The Miz and John Morrison. With that said, last week's Raw saw Priest involved with the A-lister and Morrison again, seemingly restarting their feud, but this week, the Archer of Infamy defeated Morrison and quickly moved on, challenging United States champion Sheamus for a match at SummerSlam. In a very unheel move for the heel champion, Sheamus accepted the challenge, and it seems that Priest is on the cusp of his first title victory on the main roster. This is a great step for Priest, who is moving up despite an inactive couple of months this year, but there is one huge mistake being made. Reigniting his feud with The Miz and John Morrison makes no sense for Priest, who has shown he can beat them both, even defeating the A-lister in the infamous Zombie Lumberjack match at WrestleMania Backlash. On last night's Raw, Miz revealed he's fully recovered from that match as he stood from his wheelchair and ran away. And though we're happy that the A-lister will be back in the ring, WWE's insistence on continuing a feud that ended literally months ago is one of the biggest mistakes being made on the main roster. Stone Cold news now, as the WWE Hall of Famer has had plenty of big guests on his Broken Skull sessions, and his next guest will be nothing short of Almighty. It's been confirmed that WWE Champion Bobby Lashley will be the next person to sit down with the Rattlesnake, and that this episode will air this Sunday. A former ECW, Intercontinental, and US champion, Lashley had impressed in both stints with WWE, so we imagine he'll have plenty to say when his Broken Skull episode airs on August 15th. AEW news next, as Malakai Black only recently debuted for the company, but he's already looking at the end of his career. Speaking on Talk is Jericho, the former NXT champion discussed his arrival in AEW and how much longer he believes he can go in the ring. He said, "I'm 36 and I hope I'm blessed enough to go another 15 years, but we don't have that guarantee. It might be 5 or 6 years and my knees or back give out." Black added that the good thing about AEW is that it has such a young roster, and he hopes to be able to impart some wisdom to the next generation in the ring. Since debuting for AEW earlier this year, Black has been prominently featured, having decimated Cody Rhodes in his in-ring debut. But the company's newest big name already has plans for when it's time to retire. Now, over the past month, WWE have made multiple decisions that haven't gone down well with fans, and it's not just the crowds who are upset with the company's choices. We previously reported how WWE's television partners weren't happy with the abrupt release of Bray Wyatt, and that's not all they have to be unhappy with. According to Andrew Zarian, many higher-ranking representatives from the USA Network are angry with last week's releases, which saw a total 12 superstars and 1 referee cut from NXT. One source said, "Personally, I'm disappointed with how this is going," and Zarian added that the perception from many is that these upcoming changes to NXT will be negative. The changes in question are that Vince McMahon wants to take NXT back to being a developmental ground with big, larger-than-life young stars rather than smaller, established names on the Gold brand. We'll have to see what kind of changes unfold for the Gold brand at the instruction of Vince McMahon, but with the USA Network being the home of both NXT and Monday Night Raw, the WWE would be wise to try and keep the network as happy as possible. And we're ending today with Elias, who was on last night's Raw and will seemingly be going through some sort of character change very soon. During Raw, a vignette aired with Elias approaching a fire outside, and after playing a bit of guitar, threw the instrument into the fire, declaring that the gimmick is dead. Elias even teased a name change, saying how WWE stood for Walk with Elias, but now Elias is dead, as he was shown walking away from the fire. Elias hasn't wrestled since losing the Symphony of Destruction match to Jackson Ryker on the July 19th Raw, and we'll have to stay tuned to see what's next for the former 24/7 champion. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.